Alright, I'm not sure if this is even going to be in the video, but I'm just going to start grinding for these enemies that I missed. I missed the Tyrannosaur. I missed the Green Dragon, question mark? Yeah, I missed the Green Dragon, I missed the Rios, and the Warmech, which is that special enemy that somebody else was talking about at one point in the comments, and I was like, what kind of special boss did I miss? Apparently, there's like a 3-4-ish% chance that you encounter, like, pretty much just a super strong enemy right before the actual boss. Also, you might have noticed, I just went through my inventory, and I have 99 of every single item, but there's a good reason for that, okay? Apparently, you cap out at 999,999 gil, and what that means is that I can spend 500,000 gil and not worry about it because I'm already capped out. So now I guess I just have 500,000 and I never need to spend my money again. Not unless there's like a spell or something. I do remember someone saying that there was a hidden shop somewhere, but I'm not sure where that was. I never figured that out. And I guess I will leave this here for now. Maybe it'll play like double speed or something. Maybe I'll show like me collecting all of the different enemies and playing whatever the 15 flip or 15 puzzle or whatever it was called minigame is, which apparently you can do in a boat. But yeah, I'll just leave this on in the background, and here's my review of the game. Okay, this is one of the enemies. I don't know how I'm making this happen, but that's one of the enemies that I needed for the Bestiary, so I'm moving to the next area. Let's go! I got everyone to level 50! Nice. Okay, we literally just got to the floor and we're immediately fighting the Rios. So I guess it's not that rare. I guess I just randomly didn't encounter a single one somehow. But that's 2. Oh, we got it! Finally, we got it! This took ages to find. I'm so glad we finally got these dragons. Oh my god, I've been walking around here for like 20 minutes. Okay, that's huge. Okay, we're at the last floor of the flying dungeon. And allegedly, sometimes a boss should spawn here. Someone mentioned it in the comments. I don't know what actually causes him to spawn, so I think I'm going to look it up, but I'm probably going to run up and down this bridge 800 times, and this is probably going to take me a very long time. Oh, I got it! I finally got it! Oh my god, this took ages! I've been grinding on this bridge for so long. Okay, we finally have the Warmech. How much? He heals 100 per turn. What the hell? Okay, we're going all out. We're fighting this guy like he's a real boss. I'm using White Robe. I'm using Haste. I'm going crazy with it. I have no idea. Well, Blok has 999 HP because of how much XP we've gained just grinding this enemy over and over and over and over. That's fine. That's fine. We are going to blast the hell out of this man. I'm still gonna use Protect. I gotta use, what do I need to use? Protera? I'm gonna use Protera. You're gonna use Haste on Risa. And pretty soon here, we're gonna start actually doing some decent damage. He just did a nuke. That's not great for me, but honestly, I mean, we're doing fine. We don't need a bunch more healing. Who really needs healing at the end of the day? He needs healing because we're so strong. Okay, I guess we need healing. Does he even have anything else? We've already used Protera. We've already used Invisira, so we're totally good with just healing with him. You, though, you're done too. You don't need haste anymore. I'm gonna assume that this guy's weak to lightning because he's a mechanical enemy, but we'll find out now, I guess. Never mind. I had heard that this boss... Apparently I'm level 60 now, by the way, with Yela and Blok. But anyways, I had heard that this quote-unquote super boss, little mini fake boss thing, was only rivaled by the final boss. Turns out that was a lie. This guy was easier than the other two, the last two mainline bosses. But that's fine. Hey, I'm not gonna complain, okay? I killed him. We completed the Bestiary. And we do have a couple more things that we need to do. First of all, I missed a shop. Allegedly, there is a shop, I believe, in the town where people cannot communicate. Or, well, I mean, they can now. But at a point in time, they couldn't communicate. And in that town, there should be, in the top right, some sort of exit. Some sort of path leading out. And we need to go there. And supposedly there's a shop out in the sticks. So, I'll see you there. Okay, we've made it to the secret shop. It's off here in the sticks. And let's see what we were missing out on this whole time. Full life revives one ally and fully restores HP. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe that I beat the boss without this. I'm just thinking back to the endless onslaught of life and max heal and them dying before the max heal goes off and using an ether and using life and using max heal and they die and an ether, life, die, max heal, ether, life, die, max heal. Oh my god! I was struggling for nothing. I was throwing myself at a wall over and over and over, and the wall didn't even exist. I had a pickaxe right here. I had a pickaxe right here. Oh my god. That is insane. I cannot believe that spell. Wow. And flare. Blast all enemies with light and heat. This is literally the same spell that was doing a bajillion damage to me. If Yela had this for that fight, we would have been doing so much more damage. I'm flabbergasted. I cannot believe the extra magic damage is like whatever. Like I'm probably gonna do what 50 to 100 more damage. Like it's fine. Who cares really? And I only have as many uses as, you know, I can only use it so many times. It's a level 8 spell. I don't have that much mana. Okay, I've only got 9 uses. If I use it now, let's see how much damage it'll do. Now, it does have type advantage. Holy cow. That's a lot of damage. But it has type advantage, and these are weaker enemies, okay? So let's see a normal attack, right? Okay, these are normal enemies, actually. So we'll use it. We'll use Blizzaga on them and see how much damage it does. And then we'll try and find some other wyverns, and we'll use the flare on them and see how much damage that does. So first, Blizzaga. Okay, even then, it's barely more damage. It's not that crazy. We were missing out that much with Flare. But we were absolutely missing out with the max res, because that is just insane. I cannot believe that there was a max res this entire time, and we never used it. We didn't use it a single time. That's actually insane. Now, there's two more things I need to do quickly before we wrap up. First of all, I wanted to stop here because I was told that the Crescent people may have more things to talk about with me. But, I mean, I already know why I went into the past, and there's not really much for them to tell me at this point. So, I changed my mind. I'm not actually going to go see them. I don't really care at this point because I've already beaten the game, and also because, I mean, you know, whatever. I've already beaten the final boss. I'm not even sure if it'll tell me at this point. Now, the other thing we need to do is called the 15 puzzle. I'm going to try and figure this out with you guys because I have no idea. Android, none of this is telling me how to do it on the Pixel Remaster. And I'm very confused. Okay, so supposedly I'm supposed to hold A and mash B 55 times. So let's see if it's working. I'm mashing it right now. Oh, it worked. Play 15 puzzle. Hidden game. Play the 15 puzzle game and achievement. Okay, we got 100% achievements. We did it. Okay, I might just pause here and fast forward, and you guys will see me when I get to the solution. Oh my god. I did not need to pause. I was literally at the solution. Continue? Oh, hell no, I'm not doing this again. But we did it! We 100%ed the game, and the only thing left to do at this point is go back to having 999 money. So I guess I'll just fight some random enemies while I give my final rating of the game. But I gotta say, honestly, this game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I don't know, I feel like that's kind of an anticlimactic rating, but it was really enjoyable. I loved the party system. The party system was absolutely the best part of this game. No questions asked. Because I feel like, as I said before, the only other type of games like this that I've played were basically games like Pokemon, where you just have the one attacker, essentially. And the problem I've always had with those games is that it felt like there's no point to doing anything besides just attack. Just swing your sword. And while that does partially carry over into this game, the interesting thing about this game, obviously, is that you can still just attack and cast buffs with other characters on your team, which is really, really nice. Whereas in Pokemon, you know, you could spend a turn attacking, or rather, you could spend a turn buffing, but there's no way that that buff is going to give you double damage. Now, in competitive, Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that they've got like crazy builds and stuff where you buff this Pokemon 3 times or whatever, and then you can do crazy damage, and it's super tanky so it can survive long enough. But like, for me, as a person that's not playing competitively or anything like that, there's just no point. Like, I can just swing my sword and kill all of the enemies on the enemy team. And I mean, I've never really struggled with a Pokemon game because of that. Like, I feel like there's just not really much of a point besides just attack, and then the elite trainers die. And it's as simple as that. But this game has a lot more nuance to it, which is really fun. I will say though, I have no idea how you're supposed to beat this game if you don't have the White Mage, because his healing was an absolute godsend. I'm sure that there's other characters that could probably use healing magic, because otherwise you'd just be screwed. But without any healing magic, and you'd have to use potions instead, it would just be so difficult. I cannot imagine playing this game without a White Mage, which I guess is my only complaint, that you could technically like load your team to not have any healing, and then you're just completely screwed. But that's not really a fault with the game. I feel like that's more of a fault with the player. So I'm not going to dock any points from it for that. I feel like that's user error. But, I mean, obviously this is the current version, not the old version. But the pixel art is really fun. I love the design of all the characters. I love how they all have different roles in the party. Like, Risa at first I thought was going to be, you know, a red mage, because she's a red mage, and I thought she was only going to be casting magic. But the more I played, the more I realized she's honestly another physical class that just has some really good diversity and can cast those spells when I need her to. But in exchange for that good diversity and ability, she also takes a lot of damage against magic attacks. And I feel like finding out stuff like that, and finding out monsters' weaknesses, especially when you need to know them for certain magic types, I honestly don't think I figured out the final boss's magic weakness, just because my 2 mages were focused so hard on healing and supporting each other that when I did cast magic, I usually just cast whatever my strongest spell was. Because he only had electric and ice? Was it ice? Whatever he only had 2 spells, so I didn't really have much options. Obviously, if I had Flare, that would have been a lot more useful. But we managed. I guess that's my only other complaint, is that how in the hell are you supposed to find that secret magic shop? But also, I feel like it doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a problem. You can still win without it, which I appreciate. And I almost prefer not finding it, because it was much more of a challenge without it. And I feel like I would have kind of breezed through the final boss if I had that 1 healing spell and the extra DPS of the flare spell. So I'm quite happy I didn't find it in the end, and I really enjoyed the final boss fight. The story was pretty decent. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it also was so old that I feel like I appreciate it for what it was. And at the end of the day, back then, I feel like they were a lot more concerned with making the game run well and be fun, which for me personally, I'm always a big fan of the game itself. I like games with good story, but if you're giving me an option between a game with a great story and a game that's just really fun to play, I'm gonna pick the game that's really fun to play every time. And maybe there are some exceptions, but usually if I'm gonna be sticking with the game for a long time and it's not just like a quick, you know, sub 30 hour type of story, if I don't enjoy the gameplay, there's almost no way that game is gonna keep me around for its entire lifespan. But this game, the gameplay was really fun, and it has changed my opinion on this genre, because as I've said many times at this point, the only ones I've ever played were the Pokemon ones. I maxed out on money, so I'm just going to leave this dungeon. I have no need to do that anymore, but the only games like this I've ever played were Pokemon games, and I didn't have multiple party members, and I had seen other people play similar games with multiple party members, and I always thought it looked kind of fun, but I never really went out of my way to go play them. But now that I've played one, I really like this, and I'm really excited to play more games like this, even if it's not necessarily this game or this series. I feel like I've opened Pandora's box, and I'm really excited to play more games like this. But I mean, I don't think there's much else to say. Okay, actually there is one more complaint. The dancer. I like the dancer a lot. I think the dancer is great, but I think she needs to tell you about things in the Northeast. That was the only part of the game that I got stuck on, and I had to look stuff up. Was obviously up there in the top right. There's not really any explanation, and I don't even remember exactly what you have to do. Oh yeah, you need to go to the caravan to buy something from him, to take it to the lake, to take it to someone else, to take it to the village to the southeast of the northern continent. Then you get an item that takes you up to the tower, and then you can progress. That little sequence there is the only part of the game that I would change, or not necessarily change, but I'd make it... I wouldn't even change anything about it. The only thing I would change is I would make the caravan visible, because the real problem with it is that the caravan wasn't visible. So when I went to go check, I was like, there's nothing here, and then I left. And you need to go to a very specific spot to find it, which I think is kind of stupid. But you could completely solve that problem. You don't even need to necessarily make it visible. Just make the dancer tell you to walk around in the desert until you find a caravan, or something like that, and then it would be fine. But I mean, other than that, it was really fun. I loved the game. It was a good difficulty. The latter half of the game was definitely a lot easier than the starting half of the game, which I'm not complaining about. I feel like I still had a lot of fun going through the dungeons. I was still worrying about dying, particularly to the bosses. The bosses were all pretty difficult. I think it was the third one that I kind of just mollywopped and eviscerated, but it was a lot of fun, and I would definitely recommend it. Huge recommend. It is a little short, but I don't mind about that at all. I liked it, and there's not much else for me to say about it. But thank you for watching the series. I had a lot of fun making it, and I was really happy seeing everyone watch and have a good time and leave comments and advice and talk about things I missed and things that I did and their past experiences. It was a lot of fun, so thank you for joining me. But that's going to be the end of my Final Fantasy series, and I hope to see you again. Bye bye!